Mary, are we ready?
We are all set, Andreas, and we're seeing your screen right now. The recording is on, so we're ready to go.
Excellent. Okay, let me close this one and let me clean and make sure you create a new document. And we are going to get into a very interesting subject before we jump into using the ASCII file. Okay, so before we continue, oh, this is a tricky one. I'm going to use inches. For those who are very familiar with millimeters and centimeters, just think that 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters. And bear with me in this exercise. So all I need for now is to draw a polyline, a straight polyline. Let's say, let me have ortho and snap on. I'm going to draw, let's say, 10 inches. Right there, 10 inches. So if you're working in millimeters or centimeters or even meters, you can make it 10 centimeters or even 10 millimeters or 10 meters. As long as we keep 10 units, that will work with everyone. All right? So now that we have this curve over here, I need to pass it to Grasshopper. So let me push this one over here, right click, select, and there we have the curve in both Rhino and Grasshopper. I want to divide this curve. So I will go to curves, division, and I'm going to divide this curve by how many? And I need a slider. Double click. I need a slider, let's say from 5 to 15. From 5 to 15. Enter. But I do need you to do something to this slider. If you double click, I need the slider to always to be set to add numbers. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, etc. There. And beautiful. So I'm going to set it to 9. And you might ask, why? Well, let me show you. let me set this to maybe 5. There, only 5. And let me get a color, maybe orange. That will do it. And this is what I want to do. Tune, 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 go back, and go back. That's what I want to do. If I use even numbers, I might end up with a little piece over here or a little piece over here, and I don't want that. Okay? So that's the reason I need to be able to have odd numbers all the time. So let me erase that and go back to normal. Now that I have that, look what I'm going to do. I am going to draw a polyline that goes through all those points. And once I draw the polyline, I'm going to explode it. Here, curves, utilities, explode. Right there, explode. And by doing so, I have the possibility to use all these segments, and I have the possibility also to move them normal to that curve. And that's what we are going to do. So before we do that, let me give you a little tip. Under utilities, I always, whenever I do something like this and I break a curve into pieces, I like to make sure to simplify that curve. So I only get with pieces which have 2 control points, the one at the start and the one at the end. All right? Perfect. So now that we have that, now that we have these curves, let us select every other and move them either to the right or to the left. So how are we going to do so? Quite simple. We go to Sets, open up the sequence, and we are going to use call pattern. There. And at this moment, I'm going to disable the preview of all of these. I only need the points and the original curve. Perfect. So let me connect this one to L. This is the list of all the pieces. All right? And this is a great moment also. We saw this on level 101, Introduction to Grasshopper. But just to make sure you are familiar with this, let me show you this option over here. Right there. That little white and green cylinder. What I can do with this is like debugging my definition. Let me show you. I'm going to turn it on there, and everything disappears. So I can select one, and I see, oh, okay, this one adds the points. How about this one? Oh, it makes the polyline. How about this one? The points, the vertices, and the segments. How about this one? Oh, I have 5 pieces. And how about this one? Ooh, I only get 2. So we are going to make the pattern. Please go back to parameters and drag and drop 2 Boolean toggles. The first is going to be true. The second is going to be false. And make sure you connect them in order. First, true. Second, false. Don't forget to press the Shift key. Now, if I select this one, oh, look at that. So beautiful. Green, black, green, black, green. That's what we were looking for. Okay? And now, let me take the arrow, erase, go back to normal, and don't forget to disable what I call debugging tool. Okay? Don't forget to disable it. Now that we have all these pieces over here, let me turn off the points. We don't need to see them. I would love to find out the end points of each one of those pieces of lines. So, in other words, I am finding out the start over here and the end. The start and the end of each one of those segments. And don't forget that we only selected 3 of them. All right? Perfect. Now that I have that, let me calculate the angle, the vector that each line has. All right? And we are going to rotate it. And I'm going to do it in 2 different ways. So that it depends. Sometimes you wake up, you have a nice breakfast, and guess what? You remember to find the vector in one way. And the next day you forget that one and you remember the second one. So it's up to you which of the two you can use. So here we go. Under vectors, I am going to select open up vectors, vectors in between 2 points, vectors in between 2 points. This is A and this is V. And now we know the vector. Don't forget that the line itself is also the vector. But I just wanted to show you, because sometimes you might have an arc, and the arc doesn't give you the direction as a straight line. Perfect. And now I need to rotate what? To rotate 90 degrees. 90 degrees. And sometimes, and thank you, Mary, for this. Sometimes this is so hard to understand that I go even a little bit further, and I go to display, and I love to show the vector itself. There. So this is the start, and this is the vector. And there you see it. There you see it, the little arrows. And some people love to see the direction of the vectors. Some people, once you get used to this, but sometimes it's better to see it, because maybe you have one of them going in the wrong direction. So you might have to deal with it. All right? So I'm going to leave it here. This looks like a Christmas tree. And don't forget that you have this one also. This one allows you to set the color and everything. Okay? But I don't want to use it right now. Okay, so I need to rotate the vector. So we connect the vector, and this is, by the way, rotate a vector. And we are going to rotate this vector around the z-axis. All right, if I see my computer in perspective, there. Let me draw a line over here. This is the z-axis. So we want to rotate this line around the z-axis. Okay? So that you don't get lost with me today. And here is the big question. I know we have many architects taking this class, and I know they love radians. They love to use radians. Do you think it would be okay if we use degrees for one moment today? Just say yes or not. Okay, perfect. I know it's really hard to use the degrees, and you people love to use radians, but for today, I do want you to right-click and select degrees. All right, if you do not do that, it's because you love radians, and you are on your own. All right, perfect. Now, I need a slider that goes from 0 to 90. And I'm going to set it to 90 degrees. There. If you want to see the vectors, you can connect this one over here. And look how beautiful. Look. If you set the numeric slider to -90, you can play all day long with the arrows. There. -90, 90 degrees. Okay? So I'm going to leave it there. -90. Now that I have that, I am going to move. And let me push this just a little bit over here. Now, I could, just to make sure, and this will be on the video, I could have connected the lines directly to here. There. Okay? There. And it works the same. But I want you to review how to find the vectors with 2 points. Perfect. So let me set it to -90. And we are ready to move. Transform. Move. What is it that we want to move? All these curves. In which direction? We already know. We want to move it in this direction. And for how much? What is the magnitude? So here is a great moment to go to vectors, and under vectors, drag and drop one of my best friends, Mr. Amplitude. So drag and drop the amplitude. The amplitude takes the direction. And we already know this is the direction, this is the direction, this is the direction. I am going to do it, but you are not allowed to do it. Don't do it yet. Look, if I take this one and I rotate it just a little bit, look at the arrows. So beautiful. Undo. You didn't see that. You are not allowed to do that yet. Now, for how much do you want to move either to the right or to the left? So I'm going to, I have no idea. So this is going to be from 1 or maybe 0.5 to 2.5. 0.5 to 2.5. I love to stretch my numeric slider so I can get more numbers. And there. Oh, this is so nice. Look at this. Beautiful. So this is working. So now I don't want to see all of this. I don't want to see my vectors. I don't want to see the endpoints. I want to disable them for now. Beautiful. And the last part. I would like to find out the endpoints of all of these. All right? Okay. So here is the problem. I'm going to turn on this one. Here is the problem that we need to solve. And I'm going to draw it so that you see it. I am going to use a polyline. And I want to start here, go there, there, go back, start, go here, there, there, go here, and finish. So this is the shape that I'm looking for. That's the shape that I am looking for. And how do we do that? Well, let me show you. And to do this, I love to bring the annotation. So just to be sure, let me show you. This is a list of coordinates. This is a list of points. This is a list of points. And those, just to make sure, those are on the left side of my computer. On the left side. This is start and end points. And this is on the right side. Okay? So I would like you to walk with me drawing this shape. You need the first list of points, and we are going to call that list 0. All right? Then you need to go to this point. We are going to call this list 1. Then you need to go to this point, and we are going to call that one 2. And then you go like this, and then you go back to this point. And that is going to be list number 3. So if you look at it, the order is going to be like this. 0, 1, 2, and 3. And this is what I love to do. I love to come over here and Control G. This is 0 and 3. Right? This one over here, this is 0 and 3. And this list over here is going to be 1 and 2. Bingo. Now we can go ahead. Oh, annotate in Rhino is over here. You see the dimensions right there. Annotate. Okay, I hope that helps. So we are ready. We are ready to do this. We are ready to do this. Let me move all of this over here. Let me delete this one. We don't need it. And we go back to set, open up the list, and there you see it. Weave. So we are going to organize all these points. Number one, and this is question 3501 from the final test. May I ask, how many lists do we have? And you have to answer that to me. How many lists do we have? Oh. Okay. Whoever wrote 2 is going to bring coffee for everyone tomorrow. That's the rule. Whoever took level 101 knows that that's how we play the game. By the way, during the break, the 2 batteries of my mouse went dead. So I need a lot of coffee. So let me go over this. This is one list. This is another list. Guess what? We have another one over here. And we have list number 4. All right, so we have four lists. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to zoom in. Don't be afraid. Zoom in and add one more input and one more input. Perfect. And let me stretch this over here. Okay. The pattern. I want you to go to parameters, drag and drop an integer, right click on it and set manage integer collection. Manage integer collection. And we are going to add 1, 2, 3, and 4. The first is set to 0. The second, double click, type 1, and hit enter. The third, double click, type 2, hit enter. And the last one, double click, 3, hit enter. So you have 0, 1, 2, and 3. Hit OK. I'm going to type it as a group. 0, 1, 2, and 3. And this is how we are going to use the weave. So this is where we have to be very careful. Very careful. List 0. Do we know where list 0 is? Yes. It's right here. Do we know list 1? Yes, it's right there. List number 2 is right here. And the last one is number 3. Bingo! I think we have it. And if you want to try it, just draw a polyline through all those points. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Let me disable. Disable. Beautiful. Look at that. Disable. And if we rotate this one, beautiful. So now we can go in any direction. Is it working? Anyone? How can we use this? I'm going to leave a homework. The next break is going to be in 6 hours. Okay, let me see. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I am back. Mary, can we try to use the camera?
Of course. Do you
Okay.
have your camera there? Do you want to just go ahead and pick on the camera button?
Okay, let me see if I see the camera. Okay, can everybody see my camera?
We can see you. Yes, we can, Andreas. Awesome.
Okay, so this is the homework.
Perfect. Joining.
Yes, this is the homework. If this is too big for you, I have these 2 little ones. There. Just beautiful. These are 2.5 millimeters apart. And they just snap really well. Okay? So now we have a homework for tomorrow. Perfect. So how can I turn it off?
Just pick on it again. There you go.
Perfect.
Okay.
Excellent. So I always wanted to do that. You and I never tried the camera. Okay, I'm going to do one little modification. Because this is going to be very cool. I want to save, and this is right there. The name of this one is this component. File, save, 004. There. So the next thing that I want to do to my definition is this. I'm going to move all of this over here. I'm going to move all of this over here. And I am going to edit all these curves. Look, curves, extend. Oh yes, we are going to extend all these curves as straight lines. So this is going to be set to 0. By default is set to 0, but I just want to leave it there. And I want to either extend or scale to the both the end and the start at the same time. So let's make a slider from 0 to 1.00. And I want to make this slider from -1 to 1. There. And I want to connect to the start and to the end. And I just want you to see what happens. You see that? It goes inside or it goes outside. And all we need to do is to connect this one over here. Oh my God, look at that. Beautiful. Go inside, go outside. Beautiful. And now it is up to you to set this with multiple choices. Why? Because maybe I want to use a control point curve. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? There. And you can set all of these. So let me disable this one. And just for fun, and yes, you are allowed to do so. Now I'm going to draw freeform something really cool. Let's say I have a piece of wood, because I saw some people that love to do furniture, and maybe I have something like this, and I want to cut this piece of wood. This is 2x4, 4x4, or 1 meter, 0.2 by 2.4 meters, and I want to cut this like this. There. I want to cut it like that. So guess what? Now I have my definition, and I can come over here, select one curve, and divide it. There. I could set it to 25. There. Right there. Okay. So let me extend as big as possible my definition. There. So if I don't want to see the polyline and I want to see this one, there, beautiful, beautiful. If you give these curves to the carpenter is going to have a heart attack if he doesn't have digital machines. That's for sure. So be aware not to destroy his life. This one, Francesco, this one is the S10. Is that what you're looking for? Or the last one is control point curves? So very, very easily, I could have like this 3 over here, get a value list, edit the value list, and say this is a polyline, B is control points, and C interpolated. There you go. And we buy a stream filter. The stream filter is under the trees. And we need 3 inputs. So this is the first, this is the second, and this is the third. And this value list controls the gate. And that's it. So now this is the poly, this is control, this is interpolated. Oh, I have a mistake. This is interpolated. There. Okay. So you can play with this. There. You can set it to control points, or you can set it to polylines. There. I'm going to stop with this one and answer any questions you have with this one. Newman, the videos will be up this afternoon, but that's only if you finish the homework. Mary's gonna call each one of you and check your homework. Isn't that right, Mary? Yeah, the videos take at least 3 or 4 hours. So be patient. This one, I am going to use extend. So I'm going to save this one as 005 with extend curves. And by the way, and I love to use one of my best components, the random component, each one of these could be different, right? Each one of these dovetails can be different. And even the thickness can be different, each one of them, by using this one with any one of these inputs and replacing the amplitude with one of these. Okay? So I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to save it so that we can move on to the next exercise. Any questions with this one? Perfect. Nobody has a question, so we are going to leave it right there. Close it and delete all of this and open up a new document. And in this exercise, we do need the TXT file, the ASCII file that Mary gave to all of you. All right? So in order to work with that file, I need to go to Parameters. Under Input, I want you to, under Primitives, find this parameter, file path. File path. Right-click on it and set one file path. And we are going to select the ASCII file, the TXT file. Open. All right. Once we have that path, and this is just telling Grasshopper where you have that file. That's all. It's not doing anything to that file. Then we go to Input, and we are going to open and read that file right there. Open and read that file line by line. Notice that you can select from these two options. We are going to read line by line. So we connect right there. And we can see more or less the output right there. Okay? And I want you to pay attention, because this is the part that most of the people miss. Notice that on that ASCII file, I did use the comma in order to separate each number. All right? And I did that because whenever we go to Sets and we are going to use a split split, because remember, each row of numbers is like a phrase, and we need to split it at each one of those commas. So we are going to split each one of these rows with what? With a comma. So we go to parameters, we drag and drop the parameter that allows me to type a character, and I'm going to take the time just to put it over here, comma, there, so that you will remember what's inside. So if we right click and we just type a comma and say, okay, that's what I want, and we connect this one over here, notice what we get. And this is quite interesting, because at this point, so far, we have never ever seen a tree before. So from now on, and especially on Wednesday, we are going to spend the whole day working with trees. But from now on, I'm going to start asking all of you to identify whether this is a list or if it is a tree. So if you see those brackets right there, and you see the parentheses with n equals to whatever, that is telling us that we have a tree with 4 branches. 4 branches. And I think if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can find a picture that will help let's see over here. There, I found it. Beautiful. So all of these, and let me choose this color. All of this is a branch. This is a branch, and this is a branch. In this case, each branch has 4 items. And remember, index 0, index 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So that's what we have. That's what we have in here. 4 branches. If you want to see all of them just a little bit, we can drag a panel, and there you see it. There you see the numbers that came with the ASCII file. Now, we have a little problem. We have a little problem, actually a huge problem. And this is a great opportunity for me to introduce under sets under the tree, I want you to drag and drop flip matrix. Flip a matrix. Drag and drop this one. And before you connect it, let's go over this. Notice that the ASCII file has 4 rows and 3 columns. So 4 multiplied by 3, that gives us 12 elements. Perfect? So we have the same over here. We have 4 branches. Look at the relationship. 4 rows, 4 branches, and we have 3 columns. And each branch has 3 elements. Okay? Can you hear me? Mary, can you hear me?
Yes, you sound great, Andreas. And there's been no break here, so something maybe with Jana's internet, but
Okay.
here in Seattle, loud and clear. Thanks.
Perfect. Perfect. So look what's going to happen. Look what's going to happen as soon as I connect my flip matrix. Look at the output. Oh. Now it says you have a tree, but you have 3 branches, and each branch has 4 items. 4 items. All right? And if we look at this, we have 3 columns, and each column has, of course, one item, but each row has 3 items. So what I'm getting into is this. We are going to be able to select, and let me change the font of these two so that they look better. We are going now to be able to isolate each column. So I could have a list of materials, a list of sizes. Let me see if I can, for example, find, let's see, tables, there. I hope you see my screen. For those that do jewelry, here is a very, very familiar tool. These are the carats for all the stones. So you have 3 columns, and you might need to bring this information to Grasshopper. Okay? So let us select the first 3 items of each row over here. So we go to list item, and let me make a slider from 0 to 4. And we can see now, very simple, very simple, the number 10, number 11, and number 12. If you notice at the original file, that's the first row. Now, for today, so that you don't get confused for tomorrow, the purpose of this exercise was to bring the file, to read the file, to split the file, and to be able to flip the matrix. And if you look at the type of cables that we have, this is what's telling me that we do have a tree. So starting tomorrow and Wednesday, we will concentrate on how to understand and manipulate all these trees so that you don't have any more headaches when you do the gardening with your trees. Okay? So I am going to save this definition, and maybe I'm going to call it read a file. 006 read a txt file. So with this technique, you can bring tables, you can scroll up and down through the table and select the values that you want. Any questions with this one? Let us close it and pass to a new subject. File, close. Let me put it over here. And this time, we are going to design a little cluster. And we are going to give it a password, even though I won't put a password to mine, but you can add a password so that you can protect it. No, Andrew, to answer your question, yes, it is a good practice. As long as the panel doesn't have too much information. Let's say maybe you have 12 or 20 rows of information, but when you get into a list of maybe 50 or 100, and that you have to edit and change it every single day, that's where it gets a little bit complicated. So sometimes when I download these ASCII files from websites, let's say the size of shoes for women in Japan. So those do not change that often. But when you find a ASCII file for prices of metals, that changes almost every single day. So sometimes I rather download the file, connect it, and there we go. It will do all the magic that I want without double clicking. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. You can do that. you can do that, but it's a huge, I mean, you might have to, make it a little tiny. Yeah, I thought, yeah, you can type, comma, and that will do it. That will do the trick. Perfect. Okay, so let's do something very simple so that you can understand the whole process, and from now on you can organize all your definitions and add an icon and simplify it. So first, let's drag and drop a circle. There is my circle. I want to do something very, very interesting, and that is under parameters, I am going to use a data. Let me show you. This is just like copy paste. It's not doing anything. It's just data. But I like to right click and change the title. And the title will be enter radius. And don't forget to left click the little bucket right there. And we connect this one over here. All right. Once we have that, we can drag and drop or place a numeric slider. And this is going to be from 1 to 20.0, enter. And we leave it right there. Do not connect it. Do not connect it yet. What is it that we are going to do with the circle? Well, something very simple. Surface, planar, right there. And we are going to extrude this planar surface in which direction? Z. How much? Well, one more time. Parameters, data, and this will be enter thickness. We connect this one to F, and we can copy paste this numeric slider. Perfect. All right. So the output of this extrude is also going to a data, and this is what we are going to call solid out. Perfect. And just to finish, we want to paint. We want to paint this little object. So we go to display, custom preview, and we need the color. So one more time. This is the last one. This is enter color. and we add a color right there in the front. But we do not connect. We do not connect. This is it. This is all it takes. Now, we have to connect. We have to connect under parameters, utilities. There you see it, cluster input. So we connect this one over here. And let me move just a little bit right there. And let me move this one just a little bit there. Let's bring another one for the thickness. Enter the thickness. And another input for the color. Perfect. And then we have to have the output. So the output is going to be the solid and the color. And that's it. So notice that we have 3 inputs and we have 2 outputs. And once we have this is magic. Look at this. You select all of these. Do not select the numeric sliders and the color, and do not select the color preview. And you press the space bar and you select cluster. And look at that. It's so easy to manipulate now because enter the radius, enter the thickness, and enter the color. Right? The color goes over here and the solid goes over there. And you can disable it. I know it doesn't do that much, but it's working. And the best part of having a cluster is this. You select, you right click, and you can edit the cluster. There. You can move things around. You can move things around. And once you move everything around, you right click over here and you say save and close. And there you are. But most important, you can right click and click on properties. And you can name, add a description, but also look, you can tell, oh, this is mine, this is my phone, this is my email, and you can change the icon. You can show the library of icons. Let me move it over here so that the library comes there. So if you are a person that cannot make a decision really fast, I do not want you to look at it, right? Because it will be really hard to make a decision. Or you can browse and make your own icon. So for now, I'm going to choose, let's say, this green. Okay, hit OK, and there I have it. And the last piece that I want to show is if you right click, you can assign a password there. So I can type Rhino 3D and hit OK. And now if I want to edit, it's gonna ask me for the password. Rhino 3D. There. Now I can see it. It's not something that is way like Linux or if you work with a Mac computer that is really protected. But at least, you know, from somebody who doesn't know too much about computers, it's organized and they won't be able to look at your code that easily. So I'm going to save this one as 007 cluster password Rhino 3D. Okay. You can copy and paste. You can copy and paste all of these, edit, copy, edit, paste in place, and there you have another cluster. You can edit the cluster, Rhino 3D, and I can come over here and delete this, and delete this. Right click, save. So notice that this is like a clone of the original one. Hillary, the only way that I know of is this. Edit, one more time. This is why I don't like to type passwords, because I have to type it all the time. And you can copy. You can copy this, copy, leave, and then edit, paste. So you can always recover whatever is into the cluster. If you can get into it, yes. Yes. Okay. So don't trust that much. And in many cases, we see people that for one reason or another, they gave a password to the cluster, and 3 months later, they do not remember it. So they start calling McNeil to see if one of the software developers can crack the code and open up the definition. So yes, people can open it, but you have to be careful with that. But it's a nice way if you don't use the password. It's a very nice way to organize your code. Plus, you can personalize all these inputs and it makes you look good. Okay, so for tomorrow, we're gonna continue doing little exercises with different components, different techniques, and I hope to have plenty of work tomorrow. We have one exercise that it looks like you were drawing on a SketchUp inside Rhino, and that one would take us maybe 15 to 20 minutes, but it's really cool, and we will see a lot of techniques. Besides that, Mary, if anyone has questions, I think we are ready for today.
Okay, Andreas, we can just see if there's any questions. You can raise your hand. We can unmute your mic, or you can chat them in. I know our class has done a great job of posting the questions as they come up. So it makes it quick to close the class and let everybody get on with their day if all the questions have been asked. So you will send me, this is kind of what goes on, everybody. Andreas will zip up his Grasshopper definitions and email them to me, and in about a half hour you'll find them on the materials page, so use that email and the materials link. If you're not going to use them tonight, you can get them tomorrow when you return to the class session, and then you can look out at that Vimeo album. Again, usually it takes a couple hours, so that'll put us somewhere between 2 and 3. You can check and find the videos from today's class. Okay, Andreas, it looks like everybody is ready to go.
Perfect. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
9 o'clock your time, 12
Great.
my time.
Great. I'll open it up 15 minutes before if everyone wants to get checked in. And email if you have any questions. Okay. Have a good rest of your day. And thanks so much, Andreas.
Sure.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for helping.
Oh, you're
All
welcome.
Right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.